Well, now, California is the site of a gold rush in 1849, not the first one in the United States. There was actually a big gold rush in Georgia, 1828, but nobody remembers it now because it only drew about 10,000 people. The gold rush happens in 1849. California becomes a state, which is interesting. You look at that map over there, you get an idea. About 10 years later, about 1860, there was a big problem. California had become a state. Then, about 8-9 years later, Nevada discovered that there was silver, the Comstock lode. Now all the wealth of the nation was sliding to the far west, and it was hard to get from one side to the other. The middle of the country was a vast area known as the Great American Desert. And if you traveled overland from New York City to Sacramento in 1860, it would have taken you an average of 166 days to get across. So the answer was pretty obvious: the building of a transcontinental railroad that stretched from one side to the other, or more specifically, joined the railroads of the east to the emerging railroads of the west. Now, they started in 1862, but something caused everything to come to a complete halt in the United States. I was talking to a group of students the other day, high school students, and I said, something happened in this country in 1862 that caused everything to come to a stop. And they looked at me blankly. So I said, here's a hint. The Yankees is coming. The Yankees is coming. One kid raises his hand and says, they invented baseball? I tremble when I think about the future of this country. But no, they didn't invent baseball. The Civil War, that oxymoron, the Civil War took place, finished in 1865, and it began again. And so, what's what we do know? Over 12,000 Chinese men were brought to build the railroad. About 1,200 died in that process. So it meant that a Chinese man lost his life for every half mile of the western portion of the Transcontinental Railroad. Yes, son?
I know what Yankees are.
You know what Yankees are? Next lesson will be, what are Republicans? Okay, here we go. Here's a little song. Oh, good. But you're not old to vote yet, are you? You're not old enough to vote yet, are you? Not quite, no. Okay. We'll talk in about 10 years. So here's a little song about the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad. By the way, when the railroad was completed, the trip no longer took 166 days. It took 11 days. I've been working on a railroad all the livelong day. I've been working on a railroad, Lord, just to pass the time away. Can't you hear the whistle blowing? It rises up so early in the morning. Can't you hear the captain calling? Hey boy, blow your horn. My granddaddy worked on a railroad. He came to find a better way. He had to pound his heart out for pennies a day. So when I see an old freight train or hear one rolling along, I just remember my granddaddy. Oh, and how he sang this song. I've been working on a railroad all the livelong day. I've been working on a railroad, Lord, just to pass the time away. Can't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morning. Can't you hear the captain calling? Hey boy, blow your horn. Hey boy, blow your horn. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Lord, why don't they let that poor boy go? Can't you hear the whistle blowing? Hey, rise up so early in the morning. Can't you hear the captain